Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. Let me fix this so y'all can see a little better. There we go. And the dog will bark. We're back with Ashley and she's had another bake and she's getting dark. I think she's starting to get some color. I think I'm gonna go with a purple this time. I did like a yellow, then I did a red, and a purple, and I baked her. And then I did this brownish color and a red, no, a blue. Did the brownish color, a blue, and a red, and then I baked her again. So this time I think I'm gonna start with a purple. And then I don't know after that. We're just gonna play it by ear because it's just very, very hard to decide what color you wanna do next. Okay, here's the purple. And here's my purple paint. I'm trying to keep the sponges on top of their colors, even though you can just look at them and tell what color they were. You know, that was blue, and this was yellow, and this was that color right there. They all have their own little sponge, so I don't have to clean it off a bunch of times. Okay, so we're gonna do purple first, I think. I just don't know. Yeah, I think purple. I'm not sure I shouldn't do a wash. The modeling is working, but she's just getting more and more and more splotchy looking. I just don't know how splotchy they can stand to be before they're too splotchy. I need something to mix some paint in so I can put a wash on her. I'm trying to put a wash on her. I just need to dilute this paint a little. I don't want to dilute the whole entire thing. I don't know if I can get enough in this. I just don't know. You don't want different dilution levels because it'll be a different sort of color. I don't have anything that I know of. I'll have to get a jar. I have some jars up here. And I guess I'll just put a little in here. On a wash, you don't really want it to be super dark. This is very dark, I think. It's thick too, because I put a lot of thinning medium in it instead of light paint thinner. Well, that's way too much. Okay, well, anyway. Maybe we'll use it for something else too. I don't know. I don't generally use a lot of purple, so that's a lot of purple right there. I could do 2 or 3 layers on her, and maybe I will in the course of making her. I don't know. I just know that this is too thick and too dark to be a wash. That's better. That's probably good right there. We'll need a sponge for that, because when you do washes, you got to use sponges. You can't really use modeling sponges. You have to use a regular sponge. That's empty now. Throw it away. And we'll just rip a little bit of this off. And we'll just get a brush out of the purples over here. And we'll just use it to put a little paint on this sponge. And then we're going to just go ahead and put some purple on there like we normally would if we were using a flesh color. This one will totally cover her. There won't be any spots that will be left uncolored, like it was with the model, and I had to go around and dab the brush on it. But we won't have to do that with this because it's just like normal painting, except you're using a thin, watery color. And it's purple, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Literally, I don't know. And we'll get her all covered with this, and we'll try to, you know, dab her around like we normally do. Even though this is very, very thin, you don't really have to dab this around because it's very, very thin. It's unlikely to make a rashy look on them, but it's just better safe than sorry. And plus, she's very dark now. You don't want her to be that dark, really. So we need to sort of minimize it slightly with a dry sponge. Just a little minimizing. And just getting a little off, you know. And right where it's puddly or too wet or something, that's what we're getting off. And after this time, this 3 coats we're going to put on her before we bake her, we'll go back to doing some more modeling probably. I'm probably going to do a red coat and possibly a, don't know, of one of those ethnic color, that ethnic color that I have that I've been putting modeling on with her. I might do a coat of that. But they all have to be diluted down a little bit first because they're just too thick and dark for a wash. The washes are intended to sort of give them a little bit, I think, this is what they're designed for, to give them a little bit of all over color that isn't modeling, but it's not super dark, so it doesn't take away from your modeling, kind of. But the color is spread over, and the parts that's modeled get a little bit darker, and the parts that's not modeled get a little bit darker too, but in relation to each other, you know. The darker the doll already is, the darker this purple's going to make her. And then, you know, the lighter part will get slightly darker, and the darker part will get a little more darker. Does that make sense? I think it does. But, yeah, it's relative to how dark she already is. And, whew. Get a little in that behind her knee thing back there. Where I was having the dab before because the model wouldn't reach there, but the actual paint sponge isn't reaching there very good either. She's got a deep bend in this leg, so it's a little harder. But on her other leg, it's straight, so not hard at all. Yeah, this is going to darken her up too, so we're going to see just how close to an ethnic baby we can make her. We might not make it all the way, but we can try. That's all we can do is try. Somebody in the next apartment, right behind this wall right here, is another apartment that is like opposite this one, and it's their kitchen on that side. And they're banging on the wall like they're hammering up a nail or something. I can hear it right through the wall. Sometimes you don't hear it as much as other times. Excuse me. This is definitely a much slower way to paint. You know, we'll notice that it's taking 2 to 3 coats every time we bake, and that's a lot of paint. It takes a lot longer to do all those coats than it does the way I paint the doll the other way. And so, but you can see how it goes and stuff and know if you really want to do this way or not. This is kind of what they do in the primary method when they're doing it. They don't really put paint on like I've been doing it in my other videos. They do it like this, and it's very time consuming because they do many, many layers. I mean, an extreme amount. And I just don't know how long I can stand to do all these layers. It's just Seems like you're never going to get finished with that doll. I don't know. But I like the way I do it. And people who've known my work in the past have actually told me, oh, I haven't seen any of your work in quite a while, and you have just improved so greatly, you know. And so I am making strides toward being better, and evidently I'm sort of succeeding because they can notice. I can't really notice because the changes that I've made in my work have been gradual. It's just like when you're watching your child grow up, but a distant relative who lives far away sees them once a year, goes, oh my goodness, they've grown so much, you know. And you're going, I don't see it. But, yeah, kind of like that. But, it's, just, you don't notice the slight changes over time. And they haven't seen your work, and they're trying to remember the way it was before that. And then they see that it's different, and they're going, oh my goodness, you're doing it different, you know. Anyway, that, yeah. This is something I never ever do on my dolls, is put purple all over them, but it's a darkening color, so we're putting it on. Blue's a darkening color too. They're both shadowy and dark. They make everything already painted on the doll darker, much darker. And every spot of this doll's at least got one coat of paint on it, because I use different modeling sponges, and there aren't any spots that are completely uncolored. You can tell by looking at her rim that she's colored. Plus, you can tell by looking at a blank kit in her that she's colored. Now, she doesn't look super colored, but she's not this color, you know. Looking at her in person, she does look a lot darker than she does on the camera. I can tell just by looking at the camera, you know. Okay, we're done with this color for now. So I'm just gonna put the lid on it and separate it from my other purple because I don't want to mix them up. And I'm about to do all that stuff I said I'd do. I just want to get some paint on Ashley first. What are you doing? Oh. getting hot. Ooh, too hot to put on near my hand. You scared me. Okay, now I think I'm gonna do it's hard to decide. Maybe this color. It's a little dark, and maybe it'll darken her up a bit. I hate to have to use more jars to do it, though. The problem is I don't have anything to put that much paint in temporarily. You don't really need that much paint, but it's hard to put just a tiny bit in here. That's probably enough for a coat of paint on her. And then we're just gonna dilute it a tiny bit. I put way too much purple in there, in the second jar. Just gonna dilute that a little bit so it won't be so dark when you put it on her. Now we're just gonna put it on her now. Oh, and then another sponge. And another one for, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. We're gonna need that to be enough. I hope it is. I think it will be. This should darken her a bit too. I just hear my phone just going off in there. I gotta go get it. It might be important. Hold on. Back with my water. I don't want to waste any of it, so I had started a bottle of water last night and then left it in my room, so I went back and started another bottle. I have a prescription ready for pickup. Are you kidding me? Huh. Well, they'll deliver it. That's what they always do. They always deliver it because I never go pick it up. They just bring it automatically. I don't even have to tell them to. Okay, here we go. We're going to try to get her covered with this color now. And then I don't know if I'm going to do another coat on top of this one or not. She's starting to get a little bit different colored, so I'm not sure what the next color should be until I see how she looks after a bake. So I may put another coat on her after this one, and then I might just go straight on to the bake. I'm not sure. Oh, let's see. Let's get her mouth and up here under her chin as well. These little washes are, I don't know why they do them. I think there's because there are spots that the modeling sponge just can't get into. And it gives a chance for those spots to get some color too. I guess that's the reason. I don't really know. But I just know that if you're trying to make a doll like this, you almost have to put some washes on them. They're like 90%, I think, gonna be modeled. Probably after we get out of the bake from this time, we'll go right back to modeling. It just depends probably on the way she looks. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to do. It's kind of, well, I don't have a sponge to dab this with. Great. By the time I get one out, she'll probably be dry. Be prepared, y'all. Don't be like me. You know, I'm the picture of preparedness. Not. But usually I won't even have any of my stuff ready if I'm going to, say, glue the hair. I'll have to get everything out right on camera because I didn't get it ready ahead of time. And I go, well, I could have been prepared, but I'm not, you know. Anyway, it's not funny, really, but it's funny. You know, one of those things that's a little bit funny without really being funny. See, this is really a red color, too. It's just a darkish brown red color. It's for ethnic babies because the regular blush that you have wouldn't show up against their dark skin, so they make a darker one for the ethnic babies. So we're trying to turn her a little bit ethnic, so that's why we're doing this. At least a little bit ethnic. Some of her is dry already. Did I even put any on the legs and arms and stuff? I think I did. They sure seem dry. They sure dried quick. That's all I got to say. I didn't even put any on these arms and legs, did I? No, I don't think I did. Huh, I'm crazy, y'all. I'm here pouncing on something I didn't even paint because I'm nuts. Oh, that's so funny, but it's not funny. I just lose track because, you know, I got up and went in there in the bedroom to check my phone, and I just lost track that I didn't even paint the limbs. But I pounced them, so they're smooth now. They were smooth anyway, but you know what I mean. Put a little bit of this in the back of the knee because it's deep there. You can't get the sponge in. Yeah, we may have to bake her after this. I just don't know if we can move on to the next color without actually baking her. This is very dark, and I just don't know what's going to happen if we put something over the top of it without baking first. So we might just have 2 coats this time. Sometimes they put 4 or 5 coats on. I just won't stretch it that far. Just don't think it's feasible to do that. It's not a good idea. I don't even really like stacking colors on top of each other that are just 2 coats. It's just, I don't know. may have to go a color or two lighter than this to get her all the way down to like even biracial. I don't know. We're gonna just have to see. I just don't know if I can get them that dark. My niece told me burnt umber was a very important color when you're making an ethnic baby, and that once you get the colors down to a certain darkness, you're ready to go. Well, there goes another text message. That's probably the drugstore again. They usually send you 2 text messages. One just says a prescription's ready, and the next one will tell you what it is and how much you owe on it. I don't know why they don't send it all in one, but they just don't. And anyway, my niece, she said, well, you can't just put the dark ethnic skin tone right on the doll. It just makes them chalky and ashy looking, and you have to sort of bring it down slow like we've been doing. And once you get to a certain depth of color, you can go right to that color then. That was at least the way she did it, and she made excellent looking ethnic babies. I just marveled over how well she was able to do it. But she had some very loyal customers that wanted ethnic babies, so she had to learn to be able to supply them. They'd tell her, it would be like a custom every time. They'd tell her what kit they wanted, what color eyes, what color hair, and she'd make them a baby that was at least, depending on if they wanted, African American or biracial or what they wanted, she would do that. And a lot of people want blonde hair on their ethnic little baby. I don't know. And green eyes. They want green eyes. And she said almost everybody wants green eyes. And well, I guess if I don't know what size eyes Ashley takes. I'm pretty sure I only have brown in her size, but I'm not positive. And the dog's gonna bark. She hears something outside. Obviously, she hears something outside. Sometimes when the neighbors go up and down the stairs, they make a lot of noise on the staircase. It's all metal. And the kids will stomp on the stairs and bang against the railing, and you can hear it clanging or something. And I think that's what she heard. Okay, well, that's got her covered with this color. And she is getting darker, so that's a good thing, I guess. So we're going to get her in for another bake now, and when we come back, we're going to just see what she needs, because I just don't know at this point. So please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.